Alright, what's up? It's Jack, and today in this video I'm going to be going over Charles Olivera versus Islam Makhachev 2. And before I do that, I want to go over where I've been, which it's not very complicated, it's kind of simple on where I've been because I haven't uploaded in almost 2 months, I think. But pretty much, to make a simple answer, it's literally because of school and football. I've just been super busy, literally every day I wake up, go to school, have a full day of school, go to practice for 2.5 hours, get home, shower, eat, and sleep, and do some homework. So I really haven't had that much time to make any YouTube videos. Sure, I've had some time on the weekends and stuff, but normally I have games on either Friday or Saturday. Yeah, that's pretty much where I've been, but for now on, I want to at least upload one full video a week until football's over. Once football's over, I'm gonna plan on uploading at least 2 or 3, maybe even 4 times a week. But the UFC events coming up, UFC 294, 295, and 296, are all great. So I should get some content out of those events. So yeah. But anyways, let me talk about Olivera versus Islam Makhachev 2. But before I go over that fight, I want to go over the co-main event, which is Khamzat Chimaev and Paulo Costa. Which this fight is kind of crazy that it's finally happening. I mean, neither of them have fought for I think over a year, and they've both been talking so much trash back and forth to each other for like a year. So I'm glad this is finally happening. Hopefully neither one misses weight. I don't think Khamzat will, obviously, because he's actually moving up in weight. Costa has been kind of known for missing weight. I mean, he's like giant. Like, how is that guy 185 pounds? Like, that makes no sense to me. I weigh 165, 170-ish, and Paulo Costa would make me look like I'm 100 pounds lighter than him. But anyways, to predict this fight, it's kind of tough for me because I love Khamzat. He's super entertaining. He's kind of a villain in some people's eyes because of the missed weight, and he's like Russian, which a lot of people don't like Russian fighters because they're so dominant and so good at wrestling. But that being said, I still like him. I find him really entertaining because his striking is good. Also, his grappling is really fun to watch because he just like full on just dives at your legs, takes you down, gets on top of you, starts punching you, picks you up, throws you across the octagon. Like, he's just super entertaining. But then Costa, on the other hand, I don't love Costa, but I also don't dislike him really. Besides the Israel Adesanya fight, he's looked good in all of his fights. Luke Rockhold, I think, is his most recent fight, and he won that pretty easily. I mean, Luke Rockhold had his moments, but Costa really obviously won, in my opinion. But anyways, the main factor in this fight that is not wanting me to pick Khamzat is the size difference. Costa is a huge 185 pounder, which Khamzat is big. He's a huge 170 pounder. But if you look at the things Khamzat can do to 170 pound, who did he fight recently? Kevin Holland. He fought Kevin Holland and he just picked him up and threw him down. Kevin Holland looks tiny compared to Paulo Costa. I forgot who said it, but I was watching a video about this fight, and if you know who said this, leave a comment. But they were talking about how Khamzat versus Covington at 170 pounds would be a good fight. That would be a very interesting fight. Two somewhat similar styles. That would be a great fight. But if you look at Colby Covington's size, and then the next weight up is somebody like Paulo Costa or Alex Pereira, who Alex Pereira isn't 185 anymore, but he was. That's a huge jump. I mean, their fight night weight difference is probably like 40 pounds, but in reality, technically, they're only 15 pounds apart. So it's a big jump for Khamzat to go up to 185, but I could still see him out wrestling Costa. That's the one path to victory Khamzat has, is getting a decision win by just out wrestling Costa and being able to hold his ground on the feet, or also taking him down and submitting him. But then Costa, on the other hand, if he can stuff a takedown, I think this fight is his. So I don't know for my official prediction. I think if Costa can stuff a takedown, he will easily win this fight. But I think if Khamzat can land a couple takedowns, he would be able to break Costa and win this fight. But if I was to have to give a official prediction, I'm going to say Khamzat will win by split decision. Also, if it sounds like I'm just talking without making any sense, it might be because I haven't made a video in a long time like I was talking about. So I'm sorry if I sound like I'm yapping. Alright, now for the main event, which is Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev, which this fight has already happened. Islam beat Charles Oliveira to win the title, pretty easily too. I mean, he was outstriking him on the feet, knocked him down, and hit him with an arm triangle. But a lot of people have been saying, especially in the last week or two, that after they rewatched the fight, like, that just didn't look like Charles Oliveira. He's looked like he was just out of it, looked like he didn't know what he was doing, looked like not the same Charles Oliveira, which he's also said. He said that in that fight, he didn't feel the same, he didn't feel as good, he didn't feel as confident, which, in my opinion, I also agree with. He did not look like the same Charles Oliveira who beat Justin Gaethje and who beat Dustin Poirier. And I think that fight with Beneil Dariush was really good for Oliveira to bounce back and get a good solid win. First round TKO against a top contender. I think that was very good for Charles Oliveira. It would have been rough for him to lose to Makhachev and then go straight into the rematch. I think that fight with Beneil Dariush was very important for Oliveira to win this fight. And then if you look at Islam's last fight, which was against Alexander Volkanovski, a lot of people thought Volk won that fight. In my opinion, I think Islam did win. I think the judges were correct, but it was very close. I didn't think it was going to be that close. So that made me think Islam's human. Charles Oliveira 100% can and is capable of beating Islam, but it's not going to be easy for him. The Volkanovski fight made Islam look human, but that being said, Islam is still one of the most dominant fighters, has great wrestling, and you can't take for granted what he did to Charles in the first fight. I mean, that was kind of a fluke, people say, but it wasn't a fluke of what Islam did. Islam dominated from the start to the finish, and who says that's not going to happen again? Which I don't think it will. I hope it won't, but it might. It's very well capable of happening. But if I was to give a prediction for this fight, I'd probably say Charles Oliveira's options to win would be to do what Islam did to him the first fight, outstrike him on the feet and then submit him, which I think Charles Oliveira can definitely do. And then another path to victory for Charles Oliveira, I would say catching him in a submission. In that first round, he threw up a triangle as soon as they got on the ground, which it wasn't very close, but that just shows that he could get in that position, he could sink it a little tighter, and he could submit Islam with that. But then Islam's path to victory, I could see this going to a decision, and I could see Islam taking him down multiple times in a round and getting the victory over him by unanimous decision. But I could see the same thing happening as the first fight. Islam's kind of surprised Oliveira with the stand-up, I think, so that's why Oliveira left his chin open and got cracked and then taken down and submitted. So I could see that happening again, and if I was to give an official prediction, I think Islam is going to win by unanimous decision. I think Charles is going to fight a lot better in this fight than the first one, but not quite good enough. I think that Charles might be able to stay with him on the feet, maybe outland him on the feet, but I think Islam's going to be able to take him down more times and work him on the ground. Okay, so anyways, that is my official prediction for the main event and co-main event of UFC 294, which I'm very excited for because my friend is buying it, so I'll probably post a reaction video to it if I can, and then yeah, that should be my next video. Maybe I'll make another one before then, because I think UFC 294 is in a week or maybe 2, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll probably make a video before then, 1 or 2, and then that will come out once the fight is over. So anyways, if you enjoyed, subscribe, and I'm sorry for being gone, but I will be back.